Snowfall, Season 2, Episode 9. You going to jail now. You going to jail now. Yeah, Franklin's, he's going his ass to jail. I just can't say it no other way. I can't put it no other way. Franklin's going to jail now. And some early thoughts about this episode. There's going to be a theme on tonight. There's going to be a theme on tonight's review and reaction. The theme is retcon, which is short for retroactive continuality. Retcon is short for retroactive continuality. This season, has to be retconned. They've got to retcon this season. A few interesting things happened on tonight, but they've got to retcon this season to make this show really move forward in a compelling way. They've got to enact retroactive continuality. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. And let's just get right into this reaction and review. Let's get right into it. So we start off the episode with Franklin, with a little bit of foreshadowing. Franklin behind bars, right? Franklin being behind bars as he's closing the gate. What's up, Brad? As he's closing the gate, he's calling around to see what's going on. Wants to see basically what happened out there. Now, when I talk about this season being retcon, this is some of the shit that I'm talking about. This whole snorting dope. Let me just get right into it. I don't want to. Snowfall is a good premise, right? You got a good premise. You've got some compelling characters that you've created. You got some scenarios that you created that are compelling here on Snowfall. You've got some places that this story can go. But in season 2 so far, and we got one more episode left, I understand that, and I'm interested to see where this next episode goes. But as of right now, they've got storylines on Snowfall that went absolutely nowhere. They've got shit that went absolutely nowhere. I told you guys on last week that this show should be renamed Snitchfall, because the snitching in the previous episode completely washed away the potential of this show. The free falling or the free balling snitching completely wiped away this show's potential. It really did. And they've got characters like Oso, who ends up dying on tonight, to no avail, to not really anything spectacular. He loses a fist fight. He gets stabbed once and he dies right there on the spot. Now, mind you, in Power, Angela gets shot in the chest, but somehow she's still alive. We'll discuss that at a later time. You've got so many loose storylines. You've got so much shit just sitting out there that you haven't touched, that you have to enact what's called retroactive continuality, or retcon for short. They ruined Lucia. This shit all her fault. They ruined the entire Mexican storyline. It's been completely botched. They ruined the entire Mexican storyline. The CIA, the Teddy shit never really got off the ground. Teddy shit never even got off the ground. There's going to be moments later in this review where I'm going to ask you guys some critical questions, and I hope you have some answers for me, because I don't have them in regards to Teddy. We've got to retcon Teddy. We've got to retcon Lucia. We've got to retcon Avi's character. We just and what I mean retcon, we've got to enact what's known as retroactive continuality. Essentially, moving forward in season 3, there has to be new information presented that corrects the errors that were made in this season. That's what I mean by retcon. For those asking, what does he mean by that? What does retro continuality mean? They have to introduce new information going on into season 3, possibly season 4, that corrects the errors that were made this season. Because there were a ton of errors made, and I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to beat up on the show. I think there's a lot of potential at the show's core. I think the characters are firmly established. I'll give them that. But I told you guys, and maybe we find out on next week. Maybe we find out next week. But I told you guys, didn't I say this? I said that if they do not address if not Franklin, but Kevin's people's balls were cut off, that's going to be an issue. Now, they may address it on next week. So there's still potential for that question to be answered. But as of now, we do not know if that question was, if that really happened or not. Let's get through this. Let's get through this. And we'll get through it together. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. It's the DA chick working with Teddy Dad now. You tell me, I'm telling you. I got questions that I'm gonna have to ask y'all to answer. So we get this coke snorting stuff. We get more of this party arty stuff. They said they were federal witnesses. Who is Kev not really dead? And he is it. Aunt Louie says she from the dirty cops, she got the information that Kev was dead. She got the information from the dirty cops that Kev was dead. So I don't know. And if Kevin snitches, I mean, come on. If Kevin's a snitch, I mean, come on. They're charging Franklin with murder, so anyway, so we get this, and this was sad. This was I'm gonna just be honest, y'all. I'm sorry. This snorting dope, we partying, we're kicking it, we're having fun. You know, we're having a party, a good time. We're pointing guns at each other. We're doing coke. We got hoes everywhere. This shit played out. You know, and Avi coming in. I don't know if this was supposed to be comedic. This was supposed to be cool. I don't know what this was supposed to be. But it damn sure wasn't no storytelling. That's what it wasn't. So Avi's like, yeah, I guess, you know, enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they party and they start snorting coke together and playing coke games and all of this stupid shit, which is really childish. You know, for serious dope dealers to be, you know, I just got out of jail. So here we get into something more substantial. We have Aunt Louie and Unc trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. We got Leon still worried about Kev, you know, calling around. Let's see if Kev's okay. Let's see if Kev's okay. And we have this scene here where Soledad asks Lucia, you know, who were their names? What were their names? And she goes, you know, she doesn't say Franklin, but, you know, it sounds as if she does snitch on Franklin. This is one of the better scenes on tonight where Franklin and Leon have a back and forth about what really happened and why Franklin didn't tell them the truth initially, which is something I said when it initially happened. Avi could be cool, but they fucked up his character. They fucked up a lot of characters. They got a fucking retcon. This whole fucking shit. We get Mom and Pops kind of looking for a new house. They're not going to accept the money for the free house. Now, mind you, Pops has been homeless, which Mom's mentioned. You've been homeless for a while, so am I wrong? This season just feels not only lost, but they rush things. Is this so trash or not? Let me get to my review. Then I can give you my reaction. So, the damn federal agents knock on the door. The federal agents knock on the door, and I don't know if these are federal agents, but they may be LAPD, and they're looking for Franklin for a murder. And when Moms finds this out, she's shocked. Here come this bald head motherfucker. I don't think he's bald head, but we get the next door neighbor. Now check this out. We get the next door neighbor who's a police officer, and he's all like, "Hey, what's going?" The detectives, right? He looks and says, "What's going on, and is there anything I can help with, and all of this shit." But why is the girlfriend even on screen? I'm gonna make a point about this in a second. Why is Franklin's old girlfriend even anywhere? I mean, what is her relevance? She's just in the background. Again, these characters, I don't understand with some of these characters on this show. For those who watched my Better Call Saul review on yesterday, I told you guys that you shouldn't waste screen real estate. Remember I said that, and how Better Call Saul did a great job of not wasting screen real estate? Why is she even here? She doesn't say anything in tonight's episode. She doesn't do anything. She barely even represents anything. Because Franklin's already moved on. He was kind of trying to holler at the dark-skinned chick that helped him out with his father. I think she's there because the cop is trying to protect her from Franklin. Franklin had already moved on. I guess they're trying to remind us who the guy is. But she was in 3 scenes. She was in 3 scenes and said 0 words. Not dad, no, dad, stop. I'm pregnant, I love him. Some type of element. What the fuck is she there for? She has no emotional connection to Franklin whatsoever. She has no emotional connection to Franklin. She's not Franklin's sweetheart. We haven't seen this. We haven't seen her for 4 or 5 episodes now. He's even out there hollering at other chicks. And like I said, we have another episode to go, so I don't want to do too much presuming on tonight. But goodness gracious. So the detectives, kind of filling me in on what's going on with Franklin. Then we get back again to this party arty shit. Everybody's snorting dope and smiling and having a good time. Well, she always questioned Franklin about what he was into. They should have him escape to NO and rebooted the show. That's exactly what I said. Troll, you're getting ahead of me. So we have this scene here, which she represents his innocence, I guess. I don't know. It's like looking at one of those fucking weird Picasso paintings where you abstract paintings where you gotta kind of make your own meaning type of shit, and I don't think that's what they're going for. Well, we have this scene here where they're doing this party arty shit, and the police knock on the door. The police knock on the door and they get a noise complaint, and they're saying they need to go into the house. And, they're like, no, you can't come in, and I can't let you in the house for obvious reasons. And then, he's coked out of his fucking mind, but he's holding it together. Whatever. I'll buy all of that. No big deal. So then Teddy pulls up. Now, this is what I mean by y'all need to answer this question for me right now. I need an answer right fucking now. For everybody who's watched Snowfall, Teddy clearly says, I got a guy down at I believe the LAPD. He said if you call him, he's my liaison. He can verify everything that's going on here. That's what he says. I have a guy down at the LAPD. He's a liaison for me. He can verify everything that's going on. Who is this guy? Who was Teddy talking about in this scene? Have we seen this character before? Maybe y'all can help me out. Have we seen this character before? that Teddy is referring to right now? He was lying. He's the guy that he getting info from. He talked about him before. Have we seen this character before? Never said his name. Help me out here. Help me out here. Help me out here. Have we seen who is Teddy talking about specifically? Who is Teddy talking about? I have a guy who's a liaison who, if you call him, he can verify what's going on. And somebody suggested, Teddy was lying. He was making it up. Well, the cop says, I'm going to verify it. The cop says, okay, we'll call down and see. The cop says, we'll call and see. No, we're gonna stay right here. We're not going anywhere. I'm not moving on from this. I need an answer. Who is this guy Teddy's talking about? He was the guy that told him about the DEA. Did they call? I didn't see him call. Didn't Teddy give a name here? He did give a name. The guy that told him about the DEA. Who was that? Two episodes ago. All right, troll. I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna do my research and see. What was the name? I forget the character's name. I'm gonna do some research and see what character they're talking about. They never named him until tonight. My problem with this, and while I'm sitting on this issue, Dan, I think it was Dan something. The reason why I'm sitting right here on top of this is because this is that's a lazy resolution. That's a very lazy resolution to that issue. The cops are knocking at the door. You got drug cartel members, big time drug dealers and coke everywhere. And Teddy walks up, mentions a character we've never seen, we do not know anything about. It's hard for us to regulate or to recall who that character is he's talking about, and that gets the police off of their back. I just find that to be incredibly weak. It's just weak. Hey man, I got a character. Basically, hey man, you know that character I rarely talk about? You know that character you've never seen? Yeah, call him. He's gonna help us get out of this. You know that character that you you guys don't really know by name? I'm gonna name him on tonight. I'm gonna come on, y'all, just come on. It wasn't all bad though. It wasn't all bad. I know I'm being hard on the show, but it wasn't all bad. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. Now she's all pissed off. Soledad's all pissed off because her little operation has been busted. She's all mad about that. I guess she's mad at the force. I really don't understand what's going on with Soledad. Does she want to bust the guys? I don't really understand what's going on with Soledad. Let's just get down to brass tacks. Here's tonight's best shit. Let's just get down to brass tacks. I'm not going to play around here. This is tonight's best stuff. We get a conversation between Unc and Mom Dukes. Maybe the purpose of that was to show us how well connected Teddy is. Possibly, Gigi. Your guess is as good as mine. But they've got to retcon all of this shit. All of it's got to be retconned. It really does. So we get this conversation here. Now, this was the bright spot of tonight's episode. This is what I talk about when I mean character development. And this was a great conversation between these two. The piece of dialogue that stuck out the most is when Unc told her, it's basically all our fault. We all have something to do with Franklin's upbringing. So it ain't just on Unc, it's everybody. We all a part of this. So it's not really nobody to blame specifically. Because Mom Dukes was there to blame Unc. But Unc told her, you know that house you bought? How you think he got the money for that? And he told her, Franklin's going to do this shit anyway. Franklin's going to do this. He's going to sell dope anyway. The sooner you accept that, the better. You know, and I like this conversation because Unc was taking culpability, which is a continuation from last week's episode, kind of showing some growth from him. And Mom showed some growth on tonight, accepting the inevitability that Franklin is who he is, and that she has culpability in that. They all have culpability in that. So I really enjoyed this scene. This was tonight's best scene, hands down. I love this conversation on tonight. A few other things took place. This conversation was a brief one, basically blaming Lucia. Franklin's basically saying this is all Lucia's fault, and we're gonna have a conversation when it's all said and done. If you would have had the proper conversation back at the park, you would have never been in this situation. But whatever. We get this here. This is incredible because this is when Franklin finds out that Kevin is dead. Kevin is dead as a doorknob. He's dead, boss. And the look of shock on his face. He can't believe what he's done. He's killed his own best friend. And I know a lot of y'all were saying he may not be dead. He may still be alive. I didn't like this hand gesture from him. I didn't like it either, Gigi. I wasn't going to say that. I'm glad you did. I didn't like it either. But I wasn't gonna mention it, but it's a reason why I took the screenshot. It's a reason why I took this screenshot. But anyway, yeah, but he's doing this oh my god stuff, so I'm like, okay. I just roll with it, you know. Like I said, I try to find good things about it. You know, like I said, Unc and Uncle kind of debating what should happen to Franklin. They suggested Franklin should go out of town. But two people dead who shouldn't be dead because they added to the show. What you mean, Troll? So, on the Uncle, like, we got to get you down to Baton Rouge. And when I heard them say that he's going to Baton Rouge, I celebrated. And this is what I mean, Troll. I celebrated. Because I said, thank you. Thank you. Go to Baton Rouge and reset this fucking storyline. Please. I'm like, get this shit out of LA, get it down to Baton Rouge, and reset this fucking show. When I heard them say he's got to go to Baton Rouge, I said yes. Because this whole fucking season 2's got to be retconned. So send him down to Baton Rouge, retcon all of the LA shit, and then bring him back to LA in a situation in which you can build a proper story with Snowfall. Because right now, we're tracking on some bullshit right now. We're tracking on some complete bullshit. So I was excited. I said, yes, we can get him out of LA, get him down to Baton Rouge, and help straighten up this fucking story. Kevin also storylines could have been played up, but instead killed for nothing. We gain nothing from deaths. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So Franklin's, contemplating his future, taking in the gravity of what has taken place. Uncle showing a united front, saying, hey, we gotta, we agree with each other. It's time for you to go down to Baton Rouge and get out there. So we get this scene here that didn't amount to anything on tonight. Franklin calls home. His dad picks up. His dad is, Franklin, is that you? And then he grabs his coat and he runs out the house like Batman or some shit. Like, I don't know what that was about. He runs out the house like he's going to look for him. But, I mean, I guess, I guess I'll accept it. Whatever. Soledad's all like, yeah, I'm going rogue. So basically she's a rogue cop at this point. A rebel without a cause, or should I say a character without a cause. She's essentially a character without a cause because I don't understand her purpose exactly. We get this here. We get this fight with Lucia. Bullet to Kev back, paralyzing him would have been better to play on Franklin's emotions. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second, Tro. So we get this situation here where Lucia is ready to leave. And, you know, your boy creeps up on him. Also, a fight ensues. It's Snowfall based on a true story. Hell no. This shit is nothing. It's loosely based on the possibility of a true story, but none of this shit. They got to retcon this fucking shit. I'm gonna keep saying that because I mean that. Yeah. So Oso and them they duke it out. Oso gets stabbed one time in his fucking gut, and he dies right on the spot. Now remember, I told you Angela got shot dead in the chest on Power. Angela was shot dead in her chest. And Courtney Kemp is suggesting that Angela is still alive. So we gonna see. She shot this dude 3 times and he still runs away. Yeah, so he dies, and this scene is supposed to be sad, I guess. This scene was completely devoid of any sort of emotional relevancy. This scene was devoid of any emotional relevancy. I went and found the guy's name, William Hahn. Snowfall hasn't provided any info on him because they just made him up, Brad. And do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? William Hahn. Who the fuck is William Hahn? Go holler at William Hahn. He's my liaison downtown. Don't do stuff like that, Brad. I'm trying to get through this. don't, please don't. I'm trying to get through this, you guys. First part of Oso death, we never once saw the ring. Good point. And remember, let me tell y'all something about Oso. Remember, Oso was the surrogate character in season 1. I thought he made that dumb shit up. Yeah. Oso is the surrogate character for season 1, meaning Oso is who introduced us to the life. So Oso wasn't in the life, and we followed him as he got into the life. So he introduced us to a lot of these characters. You see? So Oso's perspective was, in season 1, our perspective as audience members. Oso introduced us to Lucia. He introduced us to Franklin to a lesser degree, but he did so. He's the one that the story was going through for the majority of season 1. The story wasn't about him, but he was the surrogate character. He was the audience's introduction to the world in which Snowfall was created. So with him dying on tonight to little to no fanfare, simply defending Lucia, and he gets stabbed to death. This was very unceremonious. Damn, that word just stuck in my mouth. Can't get it out. He died unceremoniously. This was very anticlimactic. Season 3 got to be redemption season. It's got to be retcon, retroactive continuality. And she's sitting there crying. She's screaming no. His death means nothing. I mean, did he sacrifice himself for her? What does his death represent? What does it represent? The only thing that I can say is his death represents the fact that everything Lucia touches essentially turns to shit. That's about it. It's representative of everything Lucia does ends up failing and turning to shit. That's the only thing his death really represents as far as Lucia. But Oso was a more important character than that. Somehow I see Lucia ended up with Franklin as partners. I just see them going that route, which would be the worst thing I've ever seen, ever. So Oso dies, you know, and this was, if you felt Oso's death, press 1. If you felt sad by this death, press 1. Lucia's kind of like Rick from The Walking Dead. Everyone they love die. She kills most of them. Or she gets them killed. She got Oso killed with her behavior. The real person on The Walking Dead who everybody they love dies is Maggie. So this is now a story of two people hitting rock bottom, which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If it was done in a compelling way. Nobody hit one. So let's just go get through. Yeah, let's just get through this. So Teddy, he's chilling at the office. Out of the sudden, Soledad pops up at the fucking office. Now she wants in on the story. She wants in on what's going on. She wants to get down to the bottom of what's going on and who does Teddy work for and what's the big picture shit. Don't understand why. I don't really. I can't say this is a very compelling storyline that Soledad is now working with Teddy when I thought Teddy was the one she was looking for to help bring down. But, you know, now she wants to be in with him. How the fuck did she find him? I thought about that for a long time. And the only thing I came up with is that they already had surveillance on that building. Yeah, they already had surveillance on that building. So maybe she just been surveilling it and she walks in and she grabs papers. Nicaragua, huh? So she literally just appears out of nowhere. She literally appears out of nowhere. What's up, Key? She literally appears out of nowhere. So Teddy's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna let you know about what's going on here. I don't fucking know why. Don't even fucking ask me why. Let's just keep moving through this shit. Franklin shows up, hollers at his mom. He finally reconciles with his mom. They're crying. She's hugging on him. Then you know, he apologizes now for the second time in as many seasons. Franklin decides to stop selling dope, and for the second time in as many seasons, Franklin decides to stop selling dope. He says, "You know what, Mom? If being a part of this life means I can't have you, then I don't want to fucking do it." Now, you didn't fucking get that when you stopped selling dope the first time, and you told Avi you was out, and you returned to the dope game for little to no reason. For essentially no reason at all, only to end up back where you're hugging your mom and you're saying that you no longer want to be a part of the dope game again. Okay, so for as many times, for the second time, Franklin has confessed that he does not want to be a part of the dope game. So he walks out. He tries to run out. Actually, the police got a sting on the house. This motherfucker says, I knew you couldn't stay away from your mama. Which was, I guess this was his big plot, you know. They take Franklin to jail and his mama's chasing after the car. On some shit, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Snowfall's gotta be retconned. Snowfall needs a heavy dose of retroactive continuality. They've got to use season 3 to wipe away all of the errors and character mistakes that they made in season 2. This has been a complete fucking... This show has been completely trashed. The trajectory of this show is completely gone at this point. The characters that they built and had so much potential have been drained of their relevancy. Period. And that's really all I have to say about this fucking shit. That's really the bottom line. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. That's all I got to say about this show. I can't say that I won't say that it's a bad show, but this is ridiculous. This writing on this fucking show, this storytelling, this shit's fucking ridiculous. And I hate to be such a negative Nancy. I hate to be the type of person who's being so critical, because I know people who love this show. If you like this type of thing, you'll like this type of thing. But I'm giving you guys credible reasons and credible analysis as to why this show is not living up to its potential. I'm not nitpicking here. I'm not nitpicking. I'm doing a fucking CAT scan and I'm finding cancer. I'm finding cancer in this fucking show. Writers, actors on Twitter. Bring that back, Brad. I missed that. Where did crackhead girlfriend run off? Why even bring it up if you were not going to go further with it? You know so much shit. Let me tell y'all something. And I got to go, y'all. I really do. Let me tell y'all something. Remember last week when I made a big deal about things happening off screen? Remember I did that? I did a whole fucking monologue about why do things happen off screen? Why do things happen off screen? Kev's death Kev's death this season centered around Kev's activity. This entire season centered around Kev's character and the things that happened around him. He was the antagonist for Franklin. And his character dies off screen. From reading Twitter, the actors and writers of Snowfall don't think they've made mistakes. Who would? Who would, right? Because on Twitter, you can go through your timeline and you're going to find people saying, oh, this is the best show ever. This is the greatest thing. I love Snowfall. So, you know, if you're a writer, you're like, yeah, you know, some people hating. They probably think I'm a hater. Oh, nigga just a hater. What, nigga hating. He don't get it. Nigga hating. So I get that. We saw nobody. I don't think Kev is dead. See, but this is my thing, Tro. This is my point. You're talking about Kev may not be dead. We don't see a body. But we in this scene with Franklin being charged with murder. So something's got to be concrete. Something's got to be concrete. This show hasn't shown the propensity to be wise beyond its years or this incredible in-depth storytelling where they bring these plot twists and interesting elements. They haven't shown the ability to do that. He died where he got shot. He bled out, they said. They said he got hit. They said he was at the hospital. I thought they said he was at the hospital. From my understanding. They showed Kev under a white sheet. He's dead. When they show, am I missing something? What are y'all seeing that I'm not seeing? Is there like a bonus footage or something? Do y'all got like a special director's cut that I'm not seeing? I missed that. Yeah, what's this? They didn't show shit. Yeah, what is this? Are y'all making up your own storylines? Are y'all putting shit together that just simply ain't there? Cause that's what you gotta do to make a lot of this Snowfall shit make sense. And I hate to be this guy, cause I don't wanna keep coming in week after week reviewing these shows, ragging on fucking shows. I don't want to just come in ragging on fucking shows, dude. Oh, Walking Dead ain't shit. Oh, Power ain't shit. Snowfall ain't shit. I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. They did. I'll send you a photo. Okay, cool. I didn't see it. A lot of people, other people didn't catch it. So whether it happened or not, it wasn't done in a way that was conveyed properly to where we all understood it when we seen it. Even if it was done. So I say all of this to say simply. I say all of this to say, is this another soap opera? I remember one of the best shows on FX was The Shield way back when. No, this is a show. I don't know. This show needs to be retconned. They've got to go in and they've got to clean all of this shit up. I think they need to sit Franklin's ass in jail for a while and clean up all of this fucking story, bring him back out, and then start storytelling from there. They've got to keep Franklin in jail for like half a season as they clean up all of this mess. I mean, they just really got to kill Lucia at this point. She's got to die, or she's got to become an arch nemesis of Franklin. She's got to be completely redesigned as a character at this point, because her initial character is ruined. She's got to be redesigned. You got to get rid of. You gotta, I say cut Teddy all the way out. Cut Teddy, he's in the way. We're wasting screen time with Teddy. Teddy should be to Franklin as William Hunn is to Teddy. Teddy's shit should be off screen. Everything going on with Teddy should happen off screen. He should be, every now and then we see Teddy, but he shouldn't have his own storyline. He shouldn't have his own plot points to be dealt with, because Teddy has been botched since season fucking 1. So we got to completely eliminate Teddy. Teddy goes completely underground, and all he does is deliver dope now. Does Franklin become harder in prison? Maybe it's the transformation he needed. Maybe. Maybe. But like I said, they got to completely retcon. They've got to completely retcon this whole fucking show. This whole season, rather. They got to get rid of Teddy's brother, even though I liked him as a character. They've got to get rid of Avi. Avi's got to go to jail or be killed or get played off screen. They've got to scrap this shit, you guys. And I mean that for real. And I'm not trying to rag on the fucking show, but they've got to scrap a lot of this fucking shit. This shit's got to be scrapped. What does retcon mean? Retcon is short for retroactive continuality. Retcon is short for retroactive continuality, meaning essentially, to put it in more simpler terms, they've got to rewrite this fucking shit. They've got to rewrite this fucking shit. They basically got to rewrite Snowfall from scratch. And when you do that, the problem with rewriting shit from scratch is that you've already got certain things in motion. You already got certain characters established. So what you have to do is produce new information to make what happened to that character, the new direction that they take, makes some sort of sense. Television shows and movies, sequels do this all the time. They produce new information to kind of change how things were. And a small example of this is on Family Matters. Remember, they had more kids on Family Matters in season 1? And I think her name was Judy or what's her name? Rudy or Judy. She went upstairs and never came back down, and she was never mentioned again. So instead of saying they had 3 Winslows, it was only 2. Remember that? So they would say they only got 2 kids. See, that's retcon. That's retroactive continuality. They started off one way, but they made a change in the plot and went another direction. That's a small example of that. They need to make Teddy a side note and keep deeper into Franklin and Lucia's story. Right. The Cosby Show. Wait, I forgot all about her. Yeah, so they got the kid vanished. Yeah, she vanished, and not only did she vanish, she was never mentioned again. And when they asked how many kids they had, they would only talk about having a couple of kids. Some shows have a bad or not so good season, but I think we make it up for season 3 and 4. Possibly. Like the third child in Power. Did you think they'll do a time jump in season 3? Whatever they got to do, GG. Maybe they do a time skip. Maybe they do a 7-month time skip. As Franklin's awaiting trial, and in that 7 months, they retcon all of this fucking shit. They gotta retcon all this motherfucking shit in them 7 months. Teddy's his role has been reduced. Lucia's on the run. They gotta really basically start from scratch. They really do. They gotta relaunch this fucking show. They got to. Cause and before I'm not concrete. The semen is still a little wet on that because I want to see next week's episode first before I go concrete on that. I'm honestly pissed they didn't do the New Orleans angle. Me too. Keep all the blacks though. Yeah, you got to start bringing in Bloods and Crips. You got to get back into that South Central LA 1988. I'm surprised they killed Oso. Lucia doesn't have anyone. She doesn't have anyone. She killed Pedro. Oso has died. She's out there on her own. She's at war with the other Mexicans. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Now you're killing off all of the Mexican characters. Now, who's our surrogate Mexican character? Who takes us through the Mexican life if Oso is dead and Lucia's a fucking snitch? Who introduces the South Central Mexicans from the 1980s into the storyline? Like I said, you got to retcon all, you got to trash all of that now. All of that's got to be thrown away. Because the only thing you can do is really introduce new characters. The other Mexicans got the dope recipe. So there's really no reason for Lucia. Lucia, she might as well commit suicide next week. Yeah, she's done. She's done as a character. She has nowhere to go. She might as well commit suicide next week. This show, and like I said, the concrete's wet. We'll see what happens next week. Why kill Pedro if you're going to kill Oso? This show, I don't think this show has any sort of respect for continuality. I don't think they have any sort of, and like I said, the concrete's still wet. But if in next week's episode they don't mention whether Kevin's cousin's nuts were cut off or not, if Lucia never mentions that and that is never addressed, that's going to be proof positive. I sent you the pic on Twitter. Cool, I'll check it out. That's going to be proof positive that this show is writing shit and they're going episode to episode.